Inside here, you know, you get an insight and you know something, you know, but you don't want to say it out loud because you're kind of afraid that it's not going to be really true and it'll spoil the whole thing for you, you know. But when somebody makes you say it, then, and it's true, then it just makes it more beautiful of a thing.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Yeah. 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 Memories. Memories. Yeah. Memories. Memories.
Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through! It's just gonna solidify everything within those.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
SKT, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is gonna be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes the Nabla and immediately comes back like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. I mean, we've got a big night here for y'all tonight. 2 on the main channel, 1 on the second channel. Here in CGL, it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful night for Overwatch. I'm joined for this one. It's UTOW Academy Blues versus Workers Union. How you feeling, Dex?
Man, I am feeling good, and this matchup right here is a great one. UT Overwatch Academy Blues in with a 4-0 record. Only have played 3 games, though. There's 11 teams in this tier, so they got a bye in week 2. So 3-0, the only undefeated team left in the GM tier. Workers Union, though, 3-1, a very strong team in their own right.
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, they've done fairly well for themselves throughout this early part of the season. Workers Union only lost, I believe, coming to Showtime, if I'm not mistaken, which is another really, really strong team. Their only loss coming at the hands of a forfeit. So they're also 3-1. So we're potentially looking at the top of this GM tier here in North America. UTOW, don't get that mistaken. It's not University of Texas or Tennessee. It's actually Toronto. So just to get that squared away, if there's any confusion about that, who is this? They don't have a logo. I don't know who that is. It's the University of Toronto. So they'll get to go up against the winner. The winner of this game, anyway, going to go up against the winners of Showtime versus Mythos Gamera down there in the other match.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked about Showtime a little bit. The only team that hand Workers Union a loss here, and maybe a team you could say could have been 4-0 as well, but because of a forfeit, are one-loss team. Same thing with Mythos Gamera here, a one-loss team as well. You did say, though, these are the best 4 teams here in this tier, just on record. I mean, 3 losses between these 4 teams here shows you the talent that is in this GM tier right now. But I mean, Fletch, we've talked about the teams here a little bit. Why don't we introduce you to the teams here, starting with UTOW Academy Blues here. You have Again and Zeus on your DPS line, Kirsten, your tank, and then War Hater Sam and Spicy Toast on your support line.
Strong team here for the University of Toronto. Let's get a look at their challengers on the other side. It's going to be the Workers Union, Suadir and Narnar Binks on the DPS, Venusaur D and Phoenix and Milk bringing it up in the backline. You know, we can talk all day about how good that these teams are. I mean, these teams, they've done well. They've done great thus far in the season, trying to get that extra win on the record for the postseason to try and jockey for that highest seed going into the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And unlike a lot of the other tiers here, I mean, you only need to win 1 game and then you're in that finals here for the midseason tournament. 2 wins and you get yourself an extra win record. That is something all these teams for here. Workers Union, I believe I have been able to get them in one of the first games of the season. They looked really good then. I'm hoping they are able to continue that here tonight. But Fletch, we do know where we will be heading first. Here tonight, we will be heading to Busan. And when you think about Busan, what do you necessarily expect to see?
I think a lot of it is the Ramatra or the Junker Queen. I think those rush comps are just the best comps right now for the most part, and especially on like downtown or Mecha Base. I think on drum, there's a little more variety to be had. You can definitely run a lot more because it's a lot more wide open. But if we're going to downtown, if we're going to Mecha Base, I expect to see a lot of Ramatra or Junker Queen. And the DPS, super flexible. I really like Tracer Echo. I'm not sure what these teams are going to run out on in the DPS department. I'm not sure what to expect from them. And then on the support, I really like Kiri Lucio right now. She and him are still the best, I think, support duo right now. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, or even a Moira instead of a Kiri.
Yeah, Moira's kind of been... Yeah, Moira has kind of been one of the more mainstay supports at the moment. And I was going to talk about this as well. I have seen some dive come out from teams here recently. Winston, not necessarily the dive tank I would be seeing. I would be looking towards a Doomfist or a Diva, but Winston right now for Workers Union could work out for them. But you need to be very coordinated with that here. Find your target out early, but you talked about it. Expecting to see the Junk Queen. That's exactly what the Academy Blues are going to be coming out with here. Very interesting DPS line for them here. I mean, I like it. I like that you're going to have that made there, try to section off someone for Workers Union, but I don't think that Academy Blues is expecting to see the dive here. It's going to be really interesting to see how they play into it with the May.
And here we go. First fight around this drum. The knife is out. Not going to find a target, but Milk will in the backline. Spicy Toast burned down by the Moira Grasp. And that's the go button. They don't have the speed for UT, but Kirsten is able to even it up. Unfortunately, does fall victim to Milk, and Warhater is able to get Narnar out there. But it's going to be the Workers Union that get this first fight.
Yeah, and once Spicy Toast went down there for them there, that was already starting to be the beginning of the end. You needed you needed that Lucio there to get you in and out of fights, and also just to give you that good AoE healing right there. You got rid of them, it was only up to Warhater Sam to really do anything, but now look at this. Workers Union and Academy Blues making some swaps here. Venusaur already going straight over to the Zarya here.
Yeah. Did they die? Did they die? Or did they just walk back to spawn to switch when they saw Kirsten going over to the Diva? Spicy Toast is able to burn down Venusaur, and the go button is hit for UT. This is some rank shenanigans.
I mean, very interesting there. I believe you're right. I don't think we saw Venusaur die there. They just went back to spawn and swapped here, knowing that they were expecting that swap from again going over to the Reaper now. And it immediately backfired on them. I mean, Academy Blues in a great spot right now.
Yeah, they were able to take the early positioning with Venusaur walking back from spawn. Now they're going to take the initiative with the Coalescence from Milk. Dragon Blade going to cut down Spicy Toast. And not quite able to get rid of the Genji is again, and Narnar able to jump across the map, cut Zeus in two, and take the Workers Union back to control.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're Workers Union, you feel very happy about that fight there. You invested to Ultimate Academy.
Here we go. It looks like Venusaur is already chilling at some incredibly high charge, and the Death Blossom came out from again, but did not find a target. The D-Mech was there onto Kirsten, but the self-destruct allows that Diva to get back in the mech. It's a get out of jail free card there. And with the mech back in play, I mean, there's just nothing Workers Union can do right now.
Yeah, and you're seeing that percentage tick up here for Academy Blues, already 85% and counting. Workers Union, though, coming up on 2 ultimates. Their DPS should be able to build up their ultimates as well if they get a fight going here. Academy Blues going to have their support ultimates as well coming into this one. Maybe they invest them early trying to stop Workers Union here.
It is worth noting, I think, that Venusaur did throw that grab out in the last fight. Now, this Coalescence out from Milk, the Kitsune Rush from Phoenix. It's going to be enough. The extra damage from the Kitsune Rush and the healing and damage put out by the Coalescence are going to lead to a fight win. And yeah, you better get back to the point, Workers Union. 53% and counting now.
And I like what the Academy Blues did there. They allowed Workers Union to invest their ultimates in. They're still holding on to both their support ultimates, which could be 2 big ultimates coming up in this next fight. But now Workers Union, I mean, they have both their DPS ultimates up here. This is going to be very, very challenging here. But if you are Academy Blues, you can take a fight here pretty quickly. If you still lose it, you have enough time to get back and just try to get a touch.
Suidir on the off angle. Has a target for the Pulse Bomb. Can they stick it as the Coalescence comes out from the Spicy Toast? The Dragon Blade from Narnar. Binks. Can they find something with it? Suidir in the backline has already found Spicy Toast, but it's a trade. Venusaur goes down, but they don't need their Zarya. Kirsten, the only one left in this fight. 1 versus 3. It's not going to be enough. And the point ticks over. Workers Union are going to take the first point. You know, there will be some staggers here, but these 3 are more than happy to just chill out and, you know, kill the staggers as they come. Yeah, Workers Union take that, but it was super back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Spicy Toast able to get a touch there just to prolong that point there. Hit the rollout pretty good. Just sadly, the rest of the team could not make that same rollout, not on the Lucio there. But yeah, like you said, a very back and forth kind of map there or point there. And you saw a lot of swaps come out from either team here. And that really lets us know that both these teams not afraid to make swaps if they need to. I mean, you look at Academy Blues right now. They're making wholesale swaps right now. I mean, the Moira's gone, the Kiriko's gone. Everyone is basically changing here. Again, really the only one that's kind of sticking on a hero we've seen them play so far on the Mei. And then you look over at Workers Union. Really nothing big, no big change here. Venus RD going over to the Junker Queen might be the biggest change for them.
They're going to try something new. We've seen some interesting plays here from both of these teams thus far, and it's only been 1 sub-map. So we'll see how these changes that both of these teams are making are going to affect them as we get into this point on downtown. It unlocks in 5 seconds. Milk takes a shot there. I'm not sure who hit the shot on Milk there, but able to stay alive, and the fight begins. So many people on UT low. but they get the healing and again is able to put Milk away, but it will be a trade. The flex support's gone for both teams, and the Ravenous Vortex able to keep Phoenix down, but I mean, they're able to get rid of Kiriko, but it's once again just Kirsten versus the world, and there's just not much you can do.
And Suadir on this Tracer, I mean, we've talked about a lot in other series. The Tracer right now might be one of the most important DPS you could have on a team, especially if you have a good Tracer. Able to blink around, deal so much damage. They have that recall to give them some health back if they get too low. And now, I mean, there's really no one on Academy Blues that can shut them down pretty easily. Yeah, a right click from Zeus might be able to do it again if you know, hit the left click and then hit a right click to the head, might be able to find them here. But if you're Academy Blues, you need to find an opening here.
Oh, there's the opening. Started off by closing off the point from Venusaur D, and the go button is now hit. I mean, they take down the Junker Queen, but can they finish the fight? The Junker Queen goes out early, but Narnar is able to cut 2 people in half. I mean, this fight had no right going the way of Workers Union, and somehow Narnar Binks is still alive.
I mean, it's just Workers Union being able to make something from nothing there. I mean, Suadir used their pulse bomb pretty early there, and I have to imagine that it enforced the investment of the Immortality Field and the amp it up from the support line there for Academy Blues, really leaving them with nothing there for burst or just longevity in that fight. But now Academy Blues coming up on the Blizzard here, coming up on 4 ultimates. I mean, this is a fight they have to win here, really.
There's the Blizzard from again, and cleansed up. Frozen twice in the same ultimate is Venusaur. And, you know, that cleanse does not come through a second time. Workers Union, they still don't want to give up, but, I mean, it's going to be wrestled from their hands. The point goes over to UT Academy, and now they have an uphill battle to climb.
Yeah, and I mean, Academy Blues here, they're still holding on to 2 ultimates, so they're in a very good spot right now. Workers Union going to come back in with 2 ultimates of their own, and Suadir should be able to build up to a pulse bomb pretty quick here. I don't really expect Phoenix to pop that Consuming Rush early, but, I mean, it does look like they're trying to go straight to point, so yeah, we're going to see that come out early here.
Consuming Rush straight onto the point. The Rampage hits 2. They don't have a sound barrier to cancel it out right now. Spicy Toast only 25% to it. Milk takes down 2 players, but Warhater Sam is able to take down 2 of their own. Can they finish this off with this amplification matrix? They're just under so much pressure from Milk, and again, returning on the Sombra is able to take down Milk, but it's too little too late.
And look at the swaps that Academy Blues are making here. Again, wholesale swaps from the DPS and the tank line here. They're wanting to play a little bit faster, going to a more dive here. Tracer, Sombra, Doomfist, they want to try to get in there fast, especially with 92% on the board right now for Workers Union. They want to try to find an early pick here.
On the coast, Suadir hit with a virus. So low and dead by again, but being down in a fight is nothing new to Workers Union. So they are almost certainly not going to give this up without a fight. They have not left yet. And Suadir is going to return very, very soon on that Tracer. Very, very quick to move. Again, trying to find a hack and a big punch from Kirsten. And the hack does not come through from... I mean, where was Warhater Sam at? On that middle part, and Narnar just gets their head ripped off.
Yeah, and Warhater Sam has been able to put up a lot of kills in that kill feed right now. But, I mean, if you're Academy Blues, this is working out great for you. Workers Union kind of struggling right now into this comp.
Person throwing themselves up into the face of Phoenix. You know, that Kiriko can deal so much damage. And, I mean, it'll be a trade, I guess. Again, is able to take down Narnar in the face of the Coalescence, but 2 for Milk, and the cleanse comes out. I mean, nobody is hacked by again's EMP. Warhater Sam, once again, trying to be the hero. The Amp Matrix comes out, and Warhater Sam, for a second, Warhater Sam is going to save this round, potentially, for UTOW Academy. The punch comes through onto Milk, sound barrier out from Spicy Toast, and they get it done!
just a great round there for Academy Blues. They made these swaps very late in it. You have to remember, Workers Union was already at about 90% when they made those wholesale swaps on the support and the tank. I mean, on the DPS and the tank line there, and it worked out perfectly. Workers Union really did struggle going in to that Doomfist dive comp that they were running. They just wanted to stick with what was working for them so far on that point. And yeah, they almost won a fight there towards the end, but just the speed of Academy Blues was what was able to get them alive, keep them alive in that map, force this point 3 right here. But now you see Academy Blues again showing us something different here. We're seeing again back out on the main. Deuce sticking with that Torb they started out on the last point with, but Kirsten going over to this Ramatra here. But look at Workers Union. They're going back to the dive. They showed us that first fight on the first point.
Yeah, going back a little far in time for this Ramatra composition just without the Sojourn. So, I mean, I'm interested to see how this is going to work. Both of these teams trying to stick to their guns, but they've been adapting very, very well throughout this series, and Kirsten is able to find the first pick, make that 2 for the Ramatra. The wall was incredible from again, and make that a team wipe, team kill. Yeah, I mean, what a first fight for UT.
And one, they're basically picking off right where they left off. Look at Workers Union, though. They're making wholesale swaps. I said it before. These two teams are not afraid to make those swaps when they feel like they are in a losing fight. And look at what they're coming out with here. This is a pure damage comp, in my opinion. They just want to put out as much as they possibly can.
Zeus is low, burning. Luckily had the E to pop there to stay alive in the face of the fire from the Maga. Now the charge comes through. On the back is Kirsten, and they don't have the cardiac overdrive to pop and, you know, get that damage to heal. I mean, they lose Kirsten, so it's a trade of tanks here. But without that Wraith form for Narnar Binks, there's just not going to be a chance to survive there. And Kirsten, once again, going to switch over to the Sigma.
Yeah, again, I mean, these two teams are not afraid to make swaps here. Kirsten going over to the Sigma. They want to be able to try to shut down Venus RD right there. Suadir going back over to the Tracer, and Narnar Binks making a swap to the Cassie. Again, they're all just trying to find good picks here for themselves.
They saw Suadir blink behind them, trying to find the off angle, and this shield has been a nightmare thus far for Venusaur, not able to find that damage. And I mean, UT, they are able to find that damage. I mean, a great Blizzard to force them back and take down Venusaur. There's someone on the point. I assume it's Suadir, but they'll get back before this Tracer can take the point.
And look at Venus RD now, swapping over to the Zarya. They were not going to have a lot of success on the Malga if they decided to stick with it here, especially with the comp that Academy Blues is running. Going over to the Zarya has looked good in the past. I think it will work out for them here, especially with both their support ultimates ready to go here, and they're using one already.
Milk throwing out the Coalescence. So low is Kirsten, but Warhater Sam able to pop the Amp Matrix in one burst. Milk through it, and I mean, right now, they've got 3 DPS on their side, and I think Warhater Sam might have more damage than every DPS in the lobby right now.
Yeah, Sam just been the stand. So, now, Workers Union, see, this is probably going to be where you're just looking to get a touch right now. You have this Kitsune Rush here. You don't want to invest it early, but you're going to invest it early here.
Gravitic Flux is out. Venusaur up, no bubble to save their life. The sound barrier from Spicy Toast is, you know, more or less an icing on the cake, if you will, for this point for UTOW. I mean, with again going down, it just doesn't matter. Narnar Binks is so low on the coast in this turret. I mean, it's just a nightmare for Tracer in general, but when it's a 1 versus 4, it's just never going to work out that well. Zeus, the turret, finds 2 to clean it up, and the UTOW Academy Blues are going to take Busan in what was a very, very tug-of-war-esque map.
Yeah, honestly, this last point here was the most one-sided point we saw so far in this series, or in this map. I mean, you go back to downtown, Workers Union was essentially 1 fight away from ending it there, having it be a 2-0 map in their favor. But Academy Blues, I mean, the resilience and I've said it so many times now, the the fact that they're able to make these swaps at will and be able to find so much value with it when they do it, it has worked out so great for them. They went over to that Doomfist dive comp, and look at how much value they were able to find on downtown. They go over to the Ramatra, then to the Sigma. They're on Mecha Base, and it works out perfectly. Workers Union, I mean, they ran into problems whenever we saw those swaps come out from Academy Blues, because it took them 1 or 2 fights to really figure out what they needed to do. And by that time they made those swaps, came back into the next fight, Academy Blues had those ultimates ready to go and were just able to shut down anything that the Union wanted to do.
And you know, I talked about it a little bit, but I mean, there's a lot of fights that UT just simply wouldn't have won without the heroic Warhater. I mean, there were some fights where Warhater, you know, pumped in a lot of damage and they were able to follow up, but there were other fights like on downtown, pop the window, kill 3 alone. Like, my God, when you've got a support that is able to deal as much damage as Warhater Sam is right now, I mean, that takes a load off your shoulders. And obviously they're able to keep their tank alive because, I mean, nobody else is really dying. So yeah. I mean, you've got those extra playmakers. You have more room.
Yeah, and while a lot of people right now say Moira is probably the better pick than the Baptiste, Warhater Sam has been showing us why the Baptiste might still be considered the better pick in certain positions. And it's that position right there, being able to find damage, being able to find so many kills. I mean, you talk about finding 3 people with 1 Ant Matrix. They found, you know, I believe 2 people with 2 other Ant Matrixes. I mean, they were able to do so much on that character. And you talked about there, they were essentially playing with 3 DPS and 1 healer there, but still Warhater Sam was still able to do so much healing, helping their team out there. But Fletch, we do know what our second map of the night will be. We'll be heading to Blizzard World here, and in my opinion, when you hear Blizzard World, you're normally looking to bring out a poke comp or a dive comp here. And both these 2 teams have showed us that they are perfectly fine playing a multitude of comps.
That is definitely one way to look at that. I mean, yeah, they looked good. There's no doubt about that. I like the Doomfist. I like the Sigma. I'm interested to see how the adaptation is going to be coming from. Oh goodness, excuse me, Workers Union. And the choice is going to be Winston, it looks like, and with Suadir and Genji, or Narnar being on the Genji. You know, they've got a lot of damage there for the dive, but UT, they're going to come out with the Diva, which in this position is just going to be a lot of peel, I think, for Warhater Sam and DJ Ashtray, who's coming in on the DPS.
Yeah, DJ Ashtray coming in for again, in my opinion, did really good on the first map, but this might be more of a map situational thing. That's why they're bringing them in here. But we have kind of seen this come from Workers Union a little bit on Busan there. The only main difference is Suadir on this Echo, that duplicate, a very, very strong ultimate at the moment, but you do have to deal with DJ Ashtray on that Soldier, who will be able just to shut down anyone flying. And you have the turret there from Zeus as well, so my feeling is Suadir will not be on this Echo for long if they're getting shut down by 2 different characters.
Oh, and Spicy Toe so low. Are they able to get the Mega after they drop down from that height? So they're not going to lose out on Moira just yet. Right now, Suadir looking a little bit lost there, able to finally get up into the sky. They're trying to find this turret out. Not in a position where it's shooting anybody right now, but they do know where it's at. But Warhater Sam, because of course, who else is it to start off this game with the pick onto Venusaur? And I mean, they're going to hit the aggression here for UTOW. DJ Ashtray able to clean up Suadir. And, you know, this is what we saw last map. They're immediately going to go over to this Zarya.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw what happened there with Suadir. They were focusing on trying to find that turret, and look what happened because of it. You want that Echo to have all that pressure in the sky, that aerial pressure, but because Workers Union did not have that, Academy Blues was just able to find so much value. They're sticking with the Echo here, which is really interesting, but you do see them coming up on that duplicate Milk, though, very close to their own coalescence here.
Here we go, Venusaur just trying to find that charge, build it up. Already half HP, though. Milk is very, very low as well. They're able to get rid of the turret, but DJ Ashtray able to pop Suadir again here. This has not been the same start that we saw on Busan, and we see back here supporting each other, but I mean, they can only keep that going for so long. They get the D-Mech onto Kirsten, who's gonna throw themselves off the map, so I mean, they need to either go super fast before Kirsten gets here.
And that's the right play there from Kirsten. I mean, you won that team fight there. Workers Union going to be waiting for some people to come back. The D.Va will be able to get back in time here. And now you look at Academy Blues. They have 4 ultimates in their bag. Workers Union coming up on the same, but they're starting off with the Kitsune Rush here.
Doing exactly what they think they need to do here. The aggression before Kirsten can get back. And now they have a win con. And the Molten Core comes out. And Venusaur took so much damage from the Molten Core that DJ Ashtray only needed 1 shot to put the Zarya away, and just like that, this fight, I mean, they got 94%, so they have a solid win con, but I mean, UTOW, they're able to come back and retake pretty easily.
And Suidir making the swap there is kind of what I expected. They were so close to the duplicate. I really thought they would swap after the last life, but like I said, close to duplicate. Now they use it. Didn't really find a lot of value with it. Going over to the Tracer, which we have seen them do a lot on. But you still have Kirsten holding on to this bomb here. And Warhater Sam very close to another Amp Matrix here. We've seen what they've been able to do in the past, but Narnar Binks might be the thing that makes or breaks this fight here for Workers Union.
Spicy Toes, so low, but able to take it down. Phoenix, and no fade to get away with that, and the peel is incredible. DJ Astray hits a shot and Zeus cleans it up. Venusaur takes damage from the self-destruct and so low in the backline, and Workers Union cannot find the foothold.
Yeah, and like I said, Narnar Binks, I thought their blade was going to make or break them there. Yeah, they did find 1 pick, but I don't think it make or broke that fight. I just think Academy Blues was spaced correctly there at the right points. Venus RD making the swap over to the Orisa. Now they use the grab. They're in that fight. We're in final fight territory right now. Really, no one for Workers Union has an ultimate early on this fight. So they're going to have to be able to try to walk through Warhater Sam's Amp Matrix here whenever they get to the point.
We all know how tall of a task that is, and here it is, the Amp Matrix out from Warhater Sam, keeping this healing up. And I mean, if it's not Warhater Sam, it's DJ Ashtray through the Amp Matrix, popping Venusaur and putting any hopes of Workers Union taking this point right out the window, in the trash can. UTOW, I mean, they look strong right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this Academy Blues team, they have another team in here in one of the higher tiers in CGL. So they're probably learning a lot from that team here. And you saw I think you saw in the perfect example there. They backed off of the point there when Kirsten had to throw themselves off the map to get back into their mech a little bit faster. They allowed Workers Union to get up to this 94%, but I mean, they had ultimates to re-engage back into the fight, and it worked perfectly. Zeus using that Molten Core to basically melt down Venus RD's bubble right there, and then melt them down to death. It worked out for them perfectly. You saw the rest of the team collapse and everyone else there for Workers Union. Workers Union, though, I mean, that was a good round. Yeah, 94%. You have a good win condition here, but it just seemed like Academy Blues kind of knew how to shut you down at every turn. I mean, you're coming out with the Ramatra comp here with this Cassie, and with Suidir coming back out on this Echo. My feeling is they're not really expecting Zeus to come back out on the Torb, which is what we're seeing from them at the moment, but there's still 25 seconds for them to make a swap here. But if they stick on this Torb, I mean, Suidir is going to have a problem being in the sky. Same thing in Kirsten as well. I mean, they can try to harass Suidir in the sky here, but again, right now, if you're Workers Union, you have Venusaur here on this Ramatra. You need to be able to pressure Academy Blues here back a little bit, build that space, try to hold angles, try to hold choke points really good here. Phoenix on this Zenyatta, haven't really talked about them much, but the Zenyatta, especially with the Discord Orb and how much damage that the Zen can do, I mean, Workers Union right now has a very high damage outputting team right now. Milk, though, is going to have to be really the main healer for the team at the moment.
Here we go. One decisive fight to do it for UT in this map to put them at match point. Going up over the barrier is Ashtray, taking a shot from Narnar Binks, but, you know, Spicy Toast being able to take down Suidir is not the sign that you wanted to see if you are Workers Union, and they're able to take down DJ Ashtray. But, I mean, with the death of Phoenix, man, this this map may very well be over. Suadir is going to return on the Tracer, but the points are beginning to tick up. It's going to be desperation or nothing for Workers Union, and it's desperation. Spicy Toast able to follow up on the damage dealt by the turret, and UTOW Academy Blues. I mean, that was decisive.
It absolutely was right there. And you saw it there. In that one fight we saw, Academy Blues, you saw the target selection, the target focus. They were going after one person at a time there. And you saw multiple people going after it. Workers Union really had no hope, especially once they lost Suadir in the sky. And really just all kind of went downhill from there. After a very, very close first map, though, Fletch, this second map was anything but.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like a really, really good game of tug of war in that first map. Oh, some thunder. Oh, I like that. But yeah, I mean, after the tug of war that we saw on the first map, it kind of felt like UTOW pulled the rope and Workers Union just fell flat on their face. I mean, they just could not get anything going on Blizzard World. So moving in to map number 3, which is going to be Flashpoint, so it's one or the other map there. I mean, they've got to figure something out. They need to be decisive because I feel like UT, they are doing very, very good with the adaptation and the switching, right? Workers Union, I mean, I feel like at some point you've got to realize, hey, they're more flexible than us. They're going to outplay us on these when we're switching, right? Play what you're comfortable with. Play, I think, at this point, you play the thing that you're best at. And if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, you go next into the back half of the season, right? So moving forward, I want to see something more comfortable for Workers Union.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're going to give the teams a little bit of a break here to kind of think over what they have to do heading in the next map. So we're going to take that short break and be right back with map number 3 of this series.
Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yo. Cash and the ticket is yours. Yours.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Right now, I mean, it's been an interesting series. A really close map number 1, and then map number 2 felt like a bit of a wash for the Workers Union. So coming into map number 3, which is going to be Suravaso, you know, what kind of stuff do you think that they're going to pull out to try and change the narrative?
I mean, when you talk about Suravaso, you talk about Flashpoint. You normally are looking for that kind of faster kind of playstyle of a rush, of maybe a little bit of a brawl. The Ramatra is something we have definitely seen from both these two teams here. Same thing with the Junker Queen. We could see Dive as well, which is something we've seen from both these teams. I mean, honestly, these two teams tonight have shown us they are very flexible. But like you said, Fletch, I mean, that first map of Busan almost went Workers Union away. They were one team fight away from having it there. And then Blizzard World happened, and it seemed like the Academy Blues had just taken all the momentum away from them in this series. They're needing to bounce back now. Workers Union is, if they want to keep this series alive and their midseason playoff run alive as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one and done, right? This midseason tournament, it's single elimination, 4 teams. So I mean, half of the tier got booted from the beginning, more than half even. We do have our map here. We're going into Suravaso, and it looks like both teams are gonna rock out with the Junker Queen. So, an interesting little difference here in the, you know, the DPS. We kind of expected Zeus, I'm sure, to play that Torbjorn, but the supports are interesting. With the BAP Lucio for the side of UT, and then the Moira Kiri. I mean,
yeah, it's very interesting, but Hater Sam has been rocking this Baptiste all night. It's been the character they've been the best on, so I'm not surprised by it here. Workers Union, though, their comp does kind of fit more closely to what you would want to necessarily see out of a Junker Queen comp here on Flashpoint. But right now, I mean, you need to find some opening. That was the hardest thing for Workers Union to do in that last map.
Here we go. Suadir able to find the turret out early, so that supplemental damage is gone. Venusaur able to find the Carnage slash through Kirsten there, who gets the Immortality Field from Warhater Sam. A great job getting that over the May wall, and it'll be a trade here. Spicy Toast for Suadir, but Milk is on a rampage in the backline. You see them holding up that Biotic Grasp and finding all of this value in the backline, and that will do it. Workers Union, they took the point early, so that fight was on their terms.
Yeah, and this is what you talked about with this support line that Workers Union has here. That support line is very flexible with just being able to move around the map at will. Academy Blues, I mean, Warhater Sam, the Baptiste, other than vertically, cannot necessarily move around the map fast here. Yeah, you have Spicy Toast on the Lucio, but they were one of the first ones to fall in that fight here. And Zeus on this Torb, I have the feeling you have about 1 or 2 more fights on it before you're basically forced to swap.
Venusaur is able to take down Spicy Toast, so that speed and that extra healing is all gone. And at 85%, at this point is all but Workers Union. Market's going to go over to them.
Yeah, great here for the Workers Union. If you're Academy Blues, I'm looking for some swaps here, but you're so close to ultimates that you're probably saying I'll swap once I use this ultimate. But, I mean, you're coming into Workers Union. That's going to have an entire squad's worth of ultimates here. DJ Ashtray, who came out on fire on Blizzard World, has kind of been shut down here. Not even 55% towards their blade. Same thing with Spicy Toast. I mean, and it seemed like they kind of forgot where the point was, or maybe tried to take a fight expecting Workers Union to be there as well. But Workers Union instead just said, we'll go to the point. We have everything that we need to shut anything they throw at us down.
Position, ultimates, everything going the way of Workers Union in this point. And Suadir receives Gracie to the side, and the rampage to save the life of one will not save anybody else. Kirsten and Zeus go to work, finding one each. And, as I say that, right, I mean, they're able to turn this point. 2 go down, 3 frozen to Suadir's Blizzard. But Kirsten's rampage, despite, maybe being questionable and only saving their own life, I mean, it was good enough.
Yeah, they definitely flipped that fight there. Give those 3 members of the Academy Blues there a lot of credit for doing that, because, I mean, you lost the first 2 members, the first 2 people in that fight. Those 3 were able just to keep everyone up, but now Workers Union, I mean, they still have 3 big ultimates of their own here. But Academy Blues is going to have about the same here, but you do have Warhater Sam and that M Matrix, and we have seen what they've been able to do with that in the past.
There we go. This is going to have to be a big sound barrier from the Spicy Toast. I mean, you don't need to use the sound barrier if you find out Milk early. I mean, finding that Moira early has been, finding one of the supports early has been the fight winner, the fight decider for both of these teams.
Yeah, it's your bread and butter. You get rid of one of the supports, it really puts the other team at a big disadvantage. It's like just getting rid of the tank. If you find them out first, it's going to kind of force that team to either engage quickly or fall back as fast as they can here. Now, Academy Blues, I mean, they're essentially 1 fight away here from winning this point. And like I said, they still have those 3 ultimates in their back pocket. Workers Union, though, are just going to give up the point.
Yeah, not going to invest anything else here. Just going to head over to Garden. It looks like, and once again, they're going to have this positioning advantage. They're well on their way to this point. UT, a little bit behind, but they've got similar ult economy right now for both of these teams. 3 for each. Narnar Binks trying to find something here early, trying to find a little bit of damage with these shurikens. A couple of good headshots there. Still has the Dragon Blade ready to go just as DJ Ashtray pulls theirs. They're able to get the trade. It's Venusaur for DJ Ashtray as Narnar Binks pulls out their Dragon Blade, and 2 for the price of 1 for Narnar Binks. And Workers Union take the first fight on Garden.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Workers Union, they had 2 big ultimates right there that they need to use to try to force out that beat from Spicy Toast. Warhater Sam going to get caught out there. But, I mean, right now, if you're Academy Blues, you didn't invest either of your support ultimates in that fight. I really think you should have invested 1 there. But you're in a good spot. However, you have to deal with that rampage, with the Blizzard, and the Kitsune Rush from Workers Union probably in this next engagement. I mean, it's going to be hard for you to find an opening here. But, I mean, 2 headshots from that Rivet Gun will take down any of those supports right there for Workers Union.
There you go. Shout is out from both Junker Queens. Here is the Ant Matrix from Warhater Sam. The wall is out to cancel out a little bit of it, and I mean, they're just going to kite the rest, and Suadir throws out the Blizzard. Doesn't find much of anything, but it was good for forcing UT back as the Molten Core comes out. I mean, it's going to deny a lot of space, but Phoenix is able to find 2, and Workers Union decisively put themselves ahead in this map. They're on map point.
The Molten Core was not needed there. Of all the ultimates that Academy Blues had, I think that was the one you didn't necessarily need to invest there. But Workers Union, I mean, they still have this Coalescence. They still have a Rampage. Kirsten has the same thing. Spicy Toast of the Beat will be able to keep them alive through the Rampage. I don't know if we'll be able to keep them alive through the Coalescence, though.
Here we go. Carnage ripping through both Junker Queens, but Zeus with a headshot onto Sue Adir is going to put Workers Union back. DJ Ashtray finds a couple there, and that will do it here for this first fight on Palace. It'll be UT taking over in this first one.
Yeah, I mean, they had to invest no ultimates in that one there. That's a huge fight win for them, especially because I thought Workers Union got to be a little bit more aggressive using their ults. But, I mean, each of these teams, they have kind of changed the narrative of how they have been playing, especially on Flashpoint. We've seen them be aggressive in the past, but now they're kind of being passive, kind of being patient here. I mean, Workers Union building up to 3 ultimates as here. Academy Blue is about to have 4. I mean, I expect the team to get very aggressive in this fight, and yeah, we're seeing it from Workers Union.
Rampage out. There is the sound barrier from Spicy Toast in return. Milk throws out the coal, but it's not going to be enough. This ult fight is heavily in the favor of UT here, and at 60%, Workers Union have only got one more shot.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen Workers Union back out of necessarily taking another fight here, and this might be the same situation where they kind of do that here again. I don't think they will, but I mean, if you're Workers Union, you know Warhater has that Amex ready to go. You're thinking Zeus could potentially have them all in core, but you do have 3 ultimates ready if you are Workers Union here. Phoenix can just not be the first one to fall.
Go 97% and counting. The turret is gone. Narnar has the Dragon Blade. There it is. I got to imagine they don't find the Lucio. Spicy Toast stays alive, slides away from the Genji, and the Dragon Blade wasted, and the point is over to UT. It is full house right now.
Yeah, I'm just as shocked as you that Blade did not find Spicy Toast there. I thought it was within range. You saw him get that first hit. I thought they were still within range to get that second hit to find that pick there. But the Molten Core from Zeus, which was just able to do so much damage, it found a couple kills there as well. And then you saw the damage from Warhater Sam find a lot of value. But now, Workers Union, I mean, you're in a good spot right now. You have a Blizzard, you have a Kitsune Rush here. If you're Workers Union, you invest them both right now.
Okay, yeah, so they do. And I mean, shoved into a locker there is Kirsten, and I mean, that's just never where you want to be between a Blizzard and a hard place. That is Workers Union taking this first fight, and historically, whoever takes the first fight wins the point, right?
Your work, you win for Academy Blues, you win this point. Hey, you move on to the grand finals here in the midseason. But right now, I mean, gonna be able to build up their Coalescence. That's gonna probably be the only ultimate that we could see early in this next engagement. This is gonna be a pretty dry fight from these two teams here. But I'm looking for someone to make a peel here, and really, it's only DJ Ashtray that can do that, and Narnar Banks who can make those peels.
Here's the Coalescence out from Milk, built up to it, trying to heal up their Junker Queen and take down the other. They will do one of those things. Venusaur is able to cut down Kirsten with the Carnage, ripping straight through with the axe, and now it's go time here. Get these staggers, secure the point, secure the map, and stay alive. 80% and counting, and I mean 2 people dead this late. It's going to be up to Kirsten to make this big play, to get this touch. They're going to slam, they're going to touch, but so little in the cooldown department is Kirsten. The overtime wick begins. They get the touch. The blade and the sound barrier come out. They cut down Milk. Can they get rid of DJ Ashtray? They can. The Dragon Blade now is out from Narnar Binks, and there's nothing to stop this ultimate from getting all of the value that Narnar Binks wants. 3 people cut in half by Narnar Binks to secure Suravasa.
And a good map here for Workers Union, the best they've looked since Busan, in my opinion, and one they desperately needed to try to start this reverse sweep right now. Yeah, Zeus getting play of the game, but Narnar Binks there at the end, picking up those 3 kills with the Dragon Blade, sealing the deal here for Workers Union to force a map 4. And Fletch, me and you were talking about during the break, I mean, they were so close to winning Busan, Then they kind of fell off the face of a cliff there on Blizzard World, but this was a nice bounce back from them. Yeah, it went to all 5 points, but like you said, whichever team was necessarily able to win that first fight on every point kind of just held on to it from there on out. I mean, I believe there was really only 1 point we saw a little bit of a back and forth fight on. Other than that, it was if you capped it first, you basically won that point, and Workers Union capped the point first 3 times, ended up winning that map.
Yeah. I mean, that was what I wanted from them too, right? They didn't make any switches, right? They did what they thought was right, and it was right. I mean, they got the job done. You know, it could have been cleaner, but hey, nobody's perfect, right? I mean, the fights that they won were the right ones to win, and they didn't do anything stupid either. They knew when to back out. They knew when to say, hey, we've lost this point. Let's go take positioning somewhere else. And when they did that, they usually won.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, right now, Workers Union, they need to build off this momentum they took from this Flashpoint map into our next map. Because like I said, they lose one more map, they're out of this mid-season tournament. They looked really, really good there. They need to keep that kind of play style up. It really did seem to give the Academy Blues team there some fits. But we kept on seeing the same back and forth sort of thing here. It was normally whoever did invest those ultimate first were the ones winning fights. We can go back to that last point cap there. I mean, we saw the Workers Union have that Blizzard and have that Kitsune rush. They use them immediately once that point opened. And you talked about it there. The tank for Academy Blues, Kirsten, was put in between. It was stuck in the corner there between the Blizzard and just not being able to escape there. They saw death no matter which way they looked. They faced it and accepted it there. And I mean, you saw them put up a little bit of a fight there on that final point, but it really wasn't enough there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine that we're gonna see something as like so volatile as we saw in Suravasa, you know, everybody winning every other fight and winning every other point. But going into our 4th map here, we're going into, I believe, Esperanza.
Yeah.
So what do you, I haven't actually gotten to see a map 4 in a while.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's been a while, right? A lot of these round 1 games are very one-sided, so getting to go a little further than 3 maps always feels pretty good, but Esperanza has always been a map that you can basically run whatever you're comfortable on. Do you want to run poke? You can run poke.
Yeah.
Rush? Sure. Dive? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is definitely a map where you start off playing what you consider to be your best comp, and then you make switches throughout it when you see the other team finally be able to beat it a couple times here. So we're going to truly see here in a couple seconds what each team thinks is their best comp if you're a Workers Union. I mean, that Junker Queen comp looked really good, and you're going to stick with it here. Academy Blues, though, I mean, basically, it's very similar to the comp that Workers Union is running, but they're running what has been that same support line of Warhater Sam on the Baptiste, Spicy Toast on the Lucio. You do have again coming back in here for the first time since our first map, coming out on the Mei, who, I mean, on that first map, they played an incredible Mei. Kirsten, though, playing this Ramatra, we have seen them find some value with the Ramatra in the past, but they normally don't stick on it for very long. I mean, we've seen them use that one. It's normally been you get that one annihilation and then you make a swap to whatever is the best fit for their team.
Esperanza begins around the clock tower as per the usual, and I mean the aggression from Venusaur and this Junker Queen composition on Workers Union has got to be good, and there it is, the wall to cut off everybody by again is also what I believe got Kirsten killed there. I mean, that was a well-placed wall in theory, but it kept Kirsten from backing back around the clock tower.
Yeah, and it's not a good start here for the Academy Blues. Workers Union, though, a great start. And I'm really surprised that after that side of a fight, we're not seeing any sort of swaps here from the Academy Blues. They were so quick to make those swaps earlier in the series, but they want to stick with this comp here right now. Sudir on this Mei, though, gotta be big. Same thing with, again, those ice walls have to be key for their team.
That is out from Venusaur, as is the ice wall from, again, not going to find that value. The knife did not quite see who it went into there, as this will be a big swing. Yeah, that's almost another one. Another Carnage swing there for Venusaur. Can they keep this Junker Queen alive? They can't. The swing comes out, but not going to be able to pull it down. It'll be a trade, though. Venusaur for DJ Ashtray, and the Coalescence burning down again in Spicy Toast, and it's just Kirsten and Warhater Sam left alive, and they're gonna find one each. But the fight ultimately is going the way of Workers Union.
Yeah, and now you're seeing Workers Union continue to push this bot up. They're going to be very, very close to capping the forward spawns here, but again, ultimates are going to be a plenty here. Suitor getting very low. That Blizzard could be very key for them capping this first point here, but Kirsten on this Ramattra having this Annihilation, I mean, going to be big, but Workers Union just decides to back out instead. I like the play for them here. Force Academy Blues to maybe take control of the bot, be a little bit aggressive here, invest their ultimates first, and then respond with the ultimates of your own.
Almost 4 ultimates in the bank for Workers Union. They have a lot to invest, as do UT. Almost 5 for UT, as the Blizzard is going to come out. Can they find a freeze? They get Kirsten frozen. Can they finish off the Ramattra? They can't get it done. The Blizzard and the Dragon Blade both came out from Workers Union, but I mean, with the death of Suadir so early, that chunk damage from the icicles to the skull wasn't there, and they couldn't get rid of Kirsten.
Yeah, and you saw Narnar use that blade in the backline trying to find Warhater Sam, but the moment Warhater Sam turned on them, they put up that deflect trying to keep themselves alive and instead dashed away, when if you just kind of stood there for another second, found another swipe, you would have been able to find that Baptiste there, and you would have had a completely different fight. Also, Kirsten popped that Annihilation, forcing everyone on Workers Union to fall away from that Blizzard. Now the Casino Rush being invested by Phoenix as they want to take the bot back.
Ice Wall not going to be accomplishing what they wanted from again, but again from the high ground, taking down Narnar Binks, and here's the Dragon Blade. Cleanses out. Can they cut down Phoenix? They can, but Milk is going to get the trade. The Rampage is colossal. Hits 3 for Venusaur D, and can they find one of these picks here? Off of it, the Coalescence from the backline is going to be good for Warhater Sam, and keeping the Junker Queen alive and swinging, and they get it done. Again, cleaned up by Narnar, and that will be Workers Union. You know, they lost the lead, but they have the potential to take it back right now.
Yeah, absolutely, but Academy Blues are going to come out here a little bit fast, trying to make sure they hold on to this very, very small lead. 6 meters is not a lot, but it's right now. You don't want to have Workers Union get to those forward spawns here. So they're going to allow them to push the bot a little bit, but once they see that they're on it, that's going to be their go sign here.
Here's the go sign, but Kirsten is already half HP. Can they keep Suadir alive? Have to pop the Ice Block, and Venusaur and Narnar Binks find one each, and now the aggression is set. They freeze it down at Kirsten. Everybody gets a piece of Kirsten there, and they will unlock Butt Scratch and the forward spawn.
Yeah, and again, another great fight there from Workers Union. Again, a pretty dry fight. No one really had ultimates ready while that fight was going on, but you see Workers Union coming up on both their DPS ones here. Academy Blues, though, they're in a good spot here when it comes to the ultimate economy. They're about to have 3, make it 4. Warhater Sam will be able to get that animation up pretty fast, but Narnar Binks is in the back line with the blade.
Here is the Blizzard from again, able to jump into that Ice Block as the Dragon Blade comes out, but it is you're just over-investing now. I mean, they're going to be able to more than likely take that. They can't even take down Kirsten because Suadir went down. They just threw those DPS ultimates into the ether.
And if you're Academy Blues, you're very happy with that fight there. Like you said, Workers Union just threw out ultimates for no reason. Narnar Binks needed to use that blade a little bit earlier to try to force up some more utility from the supports. Forward spawns, though, gone. Workers Union, though, going to be able to get all those up here. They will have 3 ultimates of their own in this fight here, and no beat to counter out that Coalescence or the Rampage.
Go, DJ Ashtray has to dash away, stay alive. This Rampage is canceled! Throws out the Rampage, but the wall was in the way from keeping Venusaur alive. That is the most unfortunate scenario that you could think of. They once again just chucked everything at the wall and nothing stuck.
And again, they're not going to be able to win this either right here. They got ice walled and they got bot blocked right there. And again, that Rampage comes through. It's going to be huge, but now the Academy Blues able to get these forward spawns, holding on to 3 ultimates of their own, and the Workers Union, no one close to 50% up to any of their ultimates. If Academy Blues plays this smartly from here on out, they're going to be able to take the lead and build a much larger lead as you see them coming up to 4 ultimates. Compare that to the 0 that the Workers Union have.
I mean, the ult economy so heavily in the favor of UT right now. This Nemesis form comes out early, trying to find the damage, but Suadir is already gone again with 2 picks here. Can they make it a 3-piece, a hat trick for the May? They'll not quite get it done, but they get the job done as a team. And oh my god, the Ramatra arms are just out. Put them away, man.
But look at this. Academy Blues only invest 1 ultimate in that fight. They're still holding on the 4, and Workers Union now making some swaps here. I mean, yeah, they're coming up on 2 ultimates, but you're walking into an
that is not a good sign when Venusaur gets cut off. That cardiac overdrive can do a lot of healing, keep you alive very, very well, but not if there's nothing else going into you. I mean, Venusaur now going to switch over to the Winston. The Dragon Blade gonna come out here. They don't think that they need the sound barrier, but they knew that DJ Ashtray would have gone down without it. The Coalescence in the back line is an interesting play. They're able to take down DJ Ashtray, but I mean, maybe a bit of a misplay there where I think they probably could have found more value with it. They're able to get the picks here, but I mean, the stall for UT is good. They deny about 10 seconds.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, Academy Blues right here have an over 50-meter lead. That is a very, very healthy lead, but we've seen those go away in a short amount of time. There's still over a minute and a half left to go in this one here. Workers Union going to be able to reset the spawns here, but Academy Blues, I mean, if they invest this Blizzard and Annihilation very early on, there's really nothing from the Workers Union that can stop it besides the Suzu there from Phoenix.
And it would have to be a perfectly timed Suzu at that. I mean, this is an uphill battle 100% for the Workers Union. Blizzard, Kitsune Rush out, 1 from each team, but Venusaur has been slain. I mean, that is not a good sign for Workers Union. The Kitsune Rush not providing the value that you would have liked for Workers Union. Suadir has this overclock, but probably won't use it here. I mean, if they do, it would be a probably a bit unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, they just can't get anything done. Forward spawns, yeah. I mean, everything is looking the way of UT right now. There, I mean, or Hater Sam able to take the bot for a ride and get those forward spawns. This is looking worse and worse for Workers Union.
40 seconds to go here right now. Workers Union, though, they're coming up on 3-4 ultimates right now. Academy Blues has that Annihilation ready to go, and the B is the next closest thing here. So, I mean, Workers Union, if you can win a fight here without investing 2-3 ultimates, you're putting yourself in a good spot to try to eat into this lead that the Academy Blues have.
But, I mean, they can't find a pick right now. They're still waiting to reconvene. They just can't get a lot done in that time. I mean, a lot of damage put out by Suadir with that shot. They've got 5 ultimates. Here is the Cole going around the ice wall is Milk, and the Coalescence finds a lot of healing, a lot of damage, but all of that is negated with 1 press of the Q button by Spicy Toast. I mean, they popped the Dragon Blade from Narnar Binks, but with overtime having started, Venusaur being frozen up, taken down, the UTOW Academy Blues lock up their spot in the Grandmaster Tier Grand Finals.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, Workers Union, they need to win that last fight without investing 2 or 3 ultimates. Well, Fletch, they invested 3 ultimates and still did not come out on top here. The Academy Blues team here, I mean, give them a lot of credit. They looked great throughout the night. Yeah, they lost to Urabasa, but that was still an incredibly back and forth map there. Both these teams played excellent throughout the night, but this Academy Blues team was the one that kind of stood out throughout the night at multiple points. I mean, you can go back to Blizz World, and that right there, I mean, both me and you kind of thought like, oh, this team has kind of just changed this entire series around, especially after how close Busan was when that one went all 3 points. And you could talk about, because we have that Workers Union was 1 fight away from winning Busan. I mean, we could have a completely different series if that happens here, but the changes that the Academy Blues are able to make throughout the night was the was the best and most impressive thing for them when they made their swaps. Everything just seemed to flow together. It seemed like everyone knew what their role was. And the support line, especially, I mean, with all the swaps happening, never really made any major swaps. I mean, Warhater Sam on that Baptiste was great. Same thing with Spicy Toast on the Lucio for most of the night was great in whatever kind of composition they were running.
Yeah, I mean, everybody had their moment to shine, right? I mean, for the first two maps, I think Warhater Sam was the absolute standout. I mean, the amount of work that guy did was ungodly. Wow, I mean, just the clutch gene in the veins for Warhater Sam on those first two maps, but then it wasn't as much, needed for the clutch factor, on Blizzard World, I guess. Warhater Sam still did a lot, but they didn't need that clutch gene. They just dominated from start to finish on Blizzard World, and then, I mean, on that back half, they obviously, like you said, lost Surabasa, but they were able to finish it out on Esperanza fairly convincingly by over 50 meters. I mean, they didn't need to be clutch when they had the lead the whole time, and they just never gave it up.
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, Academy Blues could be moving on to the GM Tier Grand Finals. Workers Union, though, I mean, they're knocked out here, but I feel like for them, this is a big game to take away a lot of stuff from. It feels like this was the first time they went up against a really good team. Yeah, they have played Showtime as well, which is another team that's in this mid-season tournament here. But again, this is a learning kind of thing here. The loss does not go on your record. You still go 3-1 into next week. So you take a lot from this here. You did struggle a little bit into what the Academy Blues were playing. So learn from it here and then bounce back in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and I mean, that was their first map loss this season. Out of the 3 matches that they played, they hadn't lost a map yet. So maybe they bleed, guys. I wouldn't look too far into it, but I mean, yeah, they look strong. They look adaptable, and they look like they trust each other. Right? I mean, if one person goes down, this team is not scared to keep the fight going and, like I said earlier, clutch it out. I mean, this team is scary going forward, I think.
Yeah, absolutely scary. I mean, but they had to wait their opponent in that GM Grand Finals here. But Fletch, this was a great series here tonight. First time I saw the Academy Blues team, and they really did impress.
Yeah, I mean, they look great. And going into the Grand Finals, it'll be either Showtime or Mythos Gamera. And I mean, they, I think, have already started. Unfortunately, we don't have any of that game on stream. It's always really interesting when you get to be on a game that's like the outcome of what's coming after is always decided at the same time on both sides. I think that's always really fun. Unfortunately, we don't have the information about how that other match between Showtime and Gamera is going. So here in the next hour or so, we'll know who Toronto. This just in. Breaking news. It's actually going to be Showtime moving on to the Grand Finals to take on the University of Toronto Academy, as it was a unfortunate forfeit for Mythos Gamera. So, yeah. Congratulations to these.
Yeah, other way around. Other way around there, Fletch.
Reverse
other way around.
So, haba. Okay, so UT, move on. Mythos Gamera in the Grand Finals. So, good for them. Ignore me. I'm stupid.
Yeah, but Fletch, you're not stupid. Just a slight mistake on your part there. But Fletch, we have a lot more action happening this week and a lot more happening tonight at the bottom of the hour in about 2 here on this channel right. We'll have another great game, and then at 10 o'clock on CGL2, one more series to wrap up.
Yeah. Are we done? I don't. I'm losing it. I'm losing it, man.
Okay. Okay. For
myself,
for Dextron, that was Fletch. Give a quick shout out to everyone behind the scenes of Headrammer.
I'm not gone yet.
They did a great job tonight getting all the angles. Fletch, I'll let you take us out.
You can't get rid of me that easily. I'm coming back. I'm coming back in an hour, and you're gonna like it. Dexatron, Dex. Yeah, it was fun. Good match. Good game. I look forward to it. Whatever. Yeah. I hope. Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Just end it.
I'm falling apart.
Thank you so much.